In 1994, Donkey Kong Country blew our minds. The pre-rendered 3D graphics were unlike anything the Super Nintendo had ever seen. But while the visuals grabbed the headlines, it was the sound design that actually gave the game its soul. The soundtrack wasn't just a collection of catchy loops, it was a living, breathing ecosystem. It was a blend of jazz, hard rock, and deep, melancholic ambience. And to understand how a 16-bit console produced such massive soundscapes, we must look at the man who wrestled the SNES Soundchip into submission, composer David Wise. David Wise wasn't a computer programmer by trade. He was a classically trained musician who played piano, trumpet, and the drums. In the mid-1980s, he was working in a music shop when he crossed paths with the Stamper Brothers, the founders of the legendary game studio Rare. They hired him on the spot. In 1985, Wise became Rare's sole musician. But writing music for the original NES was a trial by fire. He couldn't just play a keyboard, he had to manually type hexadecimal code to trigger basic buzzy square and saw waves. It was a grueling process, but it inadvertently taught Wise the exact skills that he would need a decade later, the art of intense musical compression. Fast forward to Donkey Kong Country. The SNES used a custom Soundchip that played actual audio samples instead of basic synthesized bleeps. This sounded great in theory, but there was a massive catch. The console only had 64 kilobytes of audio RAM. To put that into perspective, that's a fraction of a single second of an MP3 file today. Wise couldn't just load a high-quality recording of a drum kit or a synthesizer into the game. There was absolutely no space. Instead, he relied on a technique called wavetable emulation. He took microfragments of sound, a single vibration of a string, or the sharp attack of a snare, and programmed the game to loop and pitch shift them dynamically. He was literally building instruments from digital scraps. Now, Aquatic Ambience. A song, a track that has been sampled by people like Childish Gambino and re-released and re-recorded into many different genre mashups across all of YouTube. Wise wanted the shifting, ethereal pad sounds of a high-end synthesizer like the Korg Wave Station. By chaining tiny samples together in code, he created a track that wasn't just a melody, but a changing aquatic texture. This piece of music would change video games forever. There aren't many tracks quite like Aquatic Ambience that hold that value, that level of musical composition that holds up today, and it will go down surely in history as one of the most important video game pieces of music ever made. Even in levels like the dark, cavernous mine shafts, Wise threw out traditional melodies entirely. Tracks like Life in the Mines relied on heavy echo and sharp metallic percussion samples. He used the hardware to create the illusion of a vast, empty space. It was environmental sound design that was years ahead of its time. Wise's work proved that platformers didn't just need happy, upbeat chiptunes. It could be cinematic, it could be experimental, It was one of the very first Western video game soundtracks to get a commercial CD release, inspiring an entire generation of future composers. David Wise didn't just write music for the SNES, he taught it how to sing. Thank you for watching the music that changed video games. What's your favourite track from Donkey Kong Country? Let me know down in the comments, and make sure to hit subscribe for more deep dives into retro gaming history. On the next video we'll be looking at 1992's Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Masato Nakamura's contributions to the game. Thanks for watching. Now let's go play some Donkey Kong Country.